Sometimes I just keep forgetting that Toby Fox games are actual games. Undertale always went out of its way to subvert people's expectations. All of your choices have weight to them. Everything you do, whatever you do, it will contribute later in the story. You will get a different outcome depending even on some dialogue choices. Killing, a mechanic which is an integral part of every single RPG ever made, is being questioned here. Being able to spare the enemies that attack you is something you don't see in most RPGs. In a way, the game rewards your choices with different outcomes. You spare an enemy, you get acknowledged. You reset the game and thereby their world, and you get confronted. Once you start understanding the rules, the game becomes a test whether you will follow them or whether you will create your own rules and see what new unexplored content and dialogue awaits you. By playing the game, you are moving within a system that wants you to explore it to its fullest. And it's only up to you if you will indulge in this or not. Call me whatever you want, I could never get myself to even start a genocide run. I grew so accustomed to these characters that the mere thought of killing them all just made me feel despair. When I first started playing the game back in 2015, I killed Torio, and I immediately regretted it. I restarted the game and I found a way on how to save her. And then after, lo and behold, Flowey acknowledged my choices. That was so cool and new to me. The game itself spoke to me. And even now I think that this meta way in which the game plays with us, as we play with it, is really insane. Maybe this is why there are so many theories that suggest that Deltarune is all a game-like simulation created by Gaster. Gaster straight up tells you that your choices don't matter in this world, in the world of Deltarune. I am a firm believer that Gaster is the creator of Deltarune and that he is a parallel to Toby Fox. But yeah, being told that your choices amount to nothing comes off as a jarring thing, especially coming from a Toby Fox game. For all we know, Gaster might be lying. Or he might not even know the extent of our protagonist trio, composed of Chris, Susie, and Ralsei. From here on, I will be going into spoiler territory, so proceed at your own risk. A lot of stuff hints towards the choices still exist. Case in point, the Weird Route / Snowgrave Route. What's the Weird Route, you might be asking if you're new to Deltarune? Well, I will explain it to you, but first you have to know some stuff. Okay, now imagine that Deltarune is a game launcher akin to Steam, and now imagine that within this launcher you have 7 different games to experience. These games are connected like a book series. Think of it like the Jack West Jr. book series by Matthew Riley. So, in Chapter 2, if you choose to be a jerk, you can make one of the other characters, Noelle, start to freeze monsters to death, which culminates in one of your friends being frozen because of your choices. And we also get a whole new ending to the chapter different from the normal one. In the beginning, and especially in the first chapter, the game comes off more interested in how you respond emotionally to being told that you are powerless, in a way provocating the player, which in this game is Chris's soul, to experiment. It's so cool that in Deltarune, Chris, our non-binary legend, is their own character. We, the player, are just the heart-shaped soul controlling them. Chris hates us. Chris hates all the choices that we make, especially on the Weird Route. In the 4th chapter, we get a scene between Noelle and Chris where they talk about the aftermaths of the Weird Route. We get to see how Chris feels about the player's choices if the player decided to do the Snowgrave Route. Chris actually moves on their own in a couple of scenes to hint to the player some stuff in the Tana minigames. They flinch when you go out of your way to kill everybody, including your party, in the Legend of Zelda style video game sections in Chapter 3. This idea that we are not playing as Chris recontextualizes ordinary moments like walking through the town, interacting with friends, with people that know Chris. It starts to come off as something invasive, and Chris, they really feel like that we are leeching off of them, like we're their parasite. When I first got introduced to Susie, she was really annoying and she was the most dislikable character. Yet again, she received so much development through the chapters that she has become my favorite from the trio. She is literally the character that's going opposite to this world. She was only supposed to be a minor antagonist in Chapter 1. This game is based on a prophecy that 3 heroes will banish the angels' heaven. The cage with human soul and parts, that's supposed to be Chris. The girl, which is supposed to be Susie, but not really. And the 3rd hero, the prince alone in deepest dark, which is Ralsei. We get all of this information about the prophecy from Chapter 4. And also, Old Man Gerson, who based a whole book series on the prophecy, told us that Susie was never supposed to escape her role as the dragon. She wasn't supposed to be a part of the trio, but yet again, here she is. Gerson acknowledges that Susie was only supposed to be the dragon and never a part of the trio, and he sees the key to changing the grim way that the prophecy ends within Susie. A lot of people theorize that the girl was actually supposed to be Noelle. If you think about it, Noelle really did become the girl in Chapter 2. And what happens when Noelle joins the party? A whole new grim outcome can be unlocked. Ralsei is such an enigma. He is the prince alone in Deepest Dark, but yet he also has a strong resemblance to Chris's older brother, Asriel. His name even mirrors that, being an anagram for Asriel. Ralsei, Asriel, he is the Prince of the Dark Worlds, but he also wants to aid the Lightners. The Lightners are the people residing in the normal world. And a Darkner is everyone that's created in a dark world, including objects. They can take shape in the dark, and in the dark worlds they can become alive. It's not exactly stated how a dark world comes to be, but with enough determination and a sharp object, or just a knife, you can create a dark world. Chris themselves creates a dark world in the end of Chapter 2. Gerson, the old man, is dead in Deltarune. Only some of his ashes remain on top of his hammer globe in the church. That was enough, though, to resurrect him in the church dark world that the mysterious knight made. All of this made a lot of people believe that Ralsei is just the resurrected dark world version of Asriel. This theory has a lot of holes inside it though, but I have my own theory which has even more holes in it. What if there was another Deltarune trio in the past and it was composed by Asriel, Chris's brother, December, Noelle's sister, and maybe possibly Sham, the shopkeeper we meet in the first Dark World. Sham seems to know a lot about what's happening. What if Ralsei is just some sort of essence that was left behind from the original trio's past expeditions in the Dark Worlds? I have a theory that everyone in Deltarune is composed of 3 parts: a body, a soul, and their essence. What if Asriel somehow, through Gastro shenanigans, lost his essence in one of these Dark World expeditions that they had, and that lost essence turned into Ralsei? Asriel could still well be alive. He would still have his soul and his body, but he wouldn't feel like himself. That's how we get Ralsei. He is constantly in an identity crisis, torn between Asriel's essence and being his own person, the prince alone in Deepest Dark. My theory has a lot of holes as well, but I like to believe in it. I mentioned the Knight. Who is the Knight? The Knight seems to be the primary antagonist. Yet again, we don't fully know who this mysterious figure might even be. There are a lot of theories out there that suggest that the Knight might be Chris or even December Holiday, Noelle's sister, whose essence or soul seems to be trapped in the code of the game. But the theory that I believe in is that driving in my car. No, it's not that. It's that Asriel might turn out to be the Knight. Because with no essence in the Dark World, he would look distorted and not as himself. He is incomplete and under the full control of Gaster. There is a lot of evidence that points towards this. I'm gonna play a clip showcasing some of the evidence.
One that attacks you is literally the chomping mouth face that Omega Flowey shoots out. Asriel and Flowey's motifs are hidden everywhere. The Knight's theme begins with a motif that sounds very similar to Burn in Despair from Undertale. Shortly after, we hear a siren-like sound play 4 times before the main melody drops. Omega Flowey's boss fight also has 4 siren-like sounds before cutting to a soul attack. There's also an unused Knight sound. It sounds like sped-up talking. When slowing and isolating it, the sound is near identical to Asriel's adult voice. Even the audio peaks look the same. The Dark Truth starts with Your Best Nightmare from Omega Flowey. We also hear this song again in Chapter 4, When You Struggle Against the Night. There's also the knight's mannerisms. It's cocky, confident, pointing its finger, as many others say it's aura farming, and it does seem very similar to Asriel from Undertale.
And yeah, on the topic of music, when it comes around to music, Toby Fox is Wagner. Because that trickster, that tricky Tony makes me cry with every single leitmotif he puts in his OST tracks. As you already saw, there are a lot of references to the Flowey and the Asriel fights in the Knight's battle theme. But my personal favorite motif from the entire Deltarune soundtrack is the Don't Forget theme and the Freedom motif. Leitmotifs usually repeat themselves with slight variations, as if they're being remembered. The Don't Forget theme plays like a promise that the game makes to us. The motif is sprinkled all over the game. My favorite use of this motif is in From Now On and in Field of Hopes and Dreams. Which just sounds so optimistic, but there's also this thin layer of melancholy underneath it, as though the hope itself is fragile. The name of the song itself references hopes and dreams from the Undertale soundtrack. There are a lot of tracks that do that, by the way. Case in point, The Place Where It Rained. The original Undertale song name is It's Raining Somewhere Else. In Undertale, it plays when we go out on a dinner date with Sans. There, it feels personal. But in Deltarune, it feels even more personal. It feels like a memory from the past. It invokes a sense of familiarity while going into the uncanny as well. This is not the same song. It felt empty, exactly how we all felt after the ending of Chapter 4. The song mirrors our feelings. And do you know what? This track was even foreshadowing. Yeah, you know how this track is mainly associated with Sans? Well, he appears, wanting to bone our mom. The song that I have cried the most on, though, has to be You Can Always Come Home. It combines the Undertale motif and the Deltarune Don't Forget motif. It mixes the two universes. I could talk for hours about Deltarune's music, like how the Old Man's battle theme, for instance, mirrors Undyne's battle theme as well, because Gerson was her mentor. How the freedom motif shows up when a secret boss seeks freedom, or in the case of Gerson, has achieved freedom. I listen to the OST constantly when I'm just out and about and doing my own things. I highly recommend playing the game, if not for anything else, then for the soundtrack alone. Like I said in the beginning, sometimes I forget that Toby Fox games are games at all, and not just albums with a free visual novel attached to them. It really catches me off guard every time a new chapter is out, and when I'm actually forced to battle enemies. Don't get me wrong, the battle system is better than Undertale's. Sometimes I even forget that Undertale's battle system was random and enemies just appeared on your screen, as if you were in tall grass in Pokemon constantly. The Deltarune approach is much more to my liking. Deltarune benefits from Undertale's existence. But Deltarune feels way more out there. It's Toby Fox's dream game. His fever dream game even. He always wanted to create this game and this game alone. With Undertale, he just wanted to test himself if he could actually make a game, and he also wanted to test the gaming audience if a game like this would be successful at all. And lo and behold, it was! Deltarune doesn't outwardly reward you for being kind, and doesn't clearly punish you for being cruel. Instead, it just watches, and he just observes. He waits. Playing Deltarune is an experience. It's akin to watching a series and waiting for the next batch of episodes. The fandom will always find a way to entertain themselves and will always find new ways of reading the media presented. Deltarune surpasses the classification of game. It's not just a game. It's way more than just a game. Gaster even communicates with us on Twitter. Seemingly random real-world events like the Spamton sweepstakes or the Undertale 10th anniversary seems to be important to the lore of Deltarune. And that's what's so cool about it. These Toby Fox experiences escape the shackles of being just called a game. And in my opinion, it can only go up from here. Flying like an angel. The angel's heaven? Why play Deltarune now? Well, because now is the perfect time to experience what Toby Fox envisioned. Letting the game play you as you play it as well. Creating theories, being a part of the community, because, to be honest, when the game is finished, you won't be able to do that. You will have the full game, the full release, but I feel like that's only a part of the experience. And if you miss out on the part that is right now, you will forever be unable to experience the game how Toby Fox originally envisioned it. So just go and play Deltarune. Enjoy yourself. So yeah, thank you for listening to me ramble about Deltarune and my undying love for it. If you enjoyed my content, subscribe to the channel and also check these videos out as well. And with that, それではまたね. Bye bye.
Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bump is shaped like a deer. DUI, how about you die?